Welcome back to another episode of Sadia's podcast. I know I haven't posted the last 2 weeks. I've been gone for a minute, but I'm going to explain why. Okay, something happened. There was a technical issue, like some technical difficulties, and that's why I didn't get to upload the last 2 weeks, and I'm so sorry for that. But before we get into this episode, I want to start off by saying, please, if you watch my videos, my podcast, if you enjoy the content that I post, if you're enjoying this podcast so far, subscribe on YouTube, because I upload the video version of this podcast on YouTube and you can watch the whole thing there. The audio for now is only on Spotify. Maybe one day in the future I can start posting the video version on Spotify as well, but it just makes more sense to post the video on YouTube and then the audio on Spotify, because that's just how podcasting works. So if you're enjoying these episodes, please subscribe on YouTube, like the videos, share. Then we can get a bigger budget, right? Because then why is there always people... Every time I'm recording the podcast, there's some type of construction going on outside my house. This is why I hate living in the city. But anyways, subscribe, like the video, please comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And the more this podcast expands and the bigger it gets, we get a bigger budget, right? We can move to a studio and I'm going to be hosting live. That's the dream, actually. That's the ultimate goal, is so I can get my own podcast studio and I can just record from there. I could have guests, because right now it's just me. I can bring my favorite guests. Oh my God, that's the dream. It's gonna happen. If you came from TikTok after watching my videos and you're watching me right now, I just want to say thank you. Like, you have no idea. The fact that there's people that even are listening to this podcast I'm so grateful. You know what I mean? Like, when I first started this, I thought I would have like one listener and then people would move on. It's just so hard for me to think that there's actually people waiting for these episodes. People are like, where's the episode? Oh my God, that's crazy. And I'm not going to let you guys down from now on. Trust me, I'm going to keep posting on time. But basically what happened was, the last episode that I recorded, I did it right. I did the whole thing, video, audio, everything. And I had a bunch of other videos that I was going to post. This was like TikTok videos. I'm going to be very honest with you guys right now. I'm going to be very transparent about my creator journey, right? A lot of people know that I was posting on TikTok. I'm not really active on Instagram. I hate Instagram. Instagram is just a very dark place for me. Maybe it's because everybody on my Instagram is people that I've known my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I post something there, I'm like, it's like the people that I haven't spoken to for like 10 years. Some person that I met at a job when I was 18. I'm like, why are you still on my Instagram? That's not their fault. I follow them. But it just feels so vulnerable. TikTok is my safe space, right? TikTok is literally, if you find me on TikTok, I'm like, you actually put in the work. Because I've never promoted my videos on Instagram. I've never told people that I know in real life that I even post videos. So everybody has just found me. I have never told anybody I'm a TikToker. Because why would I do that? That's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. But for those of you who don't know, in Norway, we don't have the TikTok creator fund, right? So when you post videos, you don't get paid for it. Literally, you make no money. And so all the videos that I've been making the past, it's almost like 3 years now, I have not made even a single dollar, a single pound, a single krone. Like, I have made no money on TikTok. And that's just how it is in Norway. Like, I think if you want to make money, you get brand deals. And it's hard for me to get brand deals because my audience is abroad. Most of the viewers that I have, they're abroad. So they're not based in Norway. So working with Norwegian brands is hard, but then working with brands abroad is even harder, because why would they want to work with somebody who lives so far away when they could just work with local creators? At least that's what I think. So I'm not monetized on TikTok. I'm not monetized anywhere. So I've been posting everything for free and I love it. I've been enjoying it. I wouldn't take it back. If I could go back in time, maybe I would have done some things differently, but I love TikTok. I love my followers. I love the community that I have on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's worth it for me. That's why now I'm like, I want to branch on and I want to start posting more on YouTube, and obviously the podcast. The podcast has always been the dream, honestly. If I'm being honest, I've always wanted to do the podcast. That's been my dream for so many years, of just having my own podcast and just having a community of listeners, because I love podcasts so much and I've been listening to podcasts for so many years, and every time I listen to a podcast, I know the effect that it has on me, especially when I listen to my favorite podcast on a Monday morning when I'm going to work. It just makes my day better. It makes me have something to look forward to. And so the fact that now I can be that to other people, I Love it. I don't even think, like, the fact that there's people that are looking forward to my podcast, dream come true. Even if it's 2 people, I don't care. 2 people that listen to this, thank you. Okay, because I am still so grateful that there's even anybody out there that's listening to me. But anyways, I was gonna tell you guys what happened to the podcast. So I started editing the podcast, right? And usually I have to like put the audio and like the video together. It just wasn't working out. It just was, and for some reason I was so nervous that episode. I was having a really bad day, and so I was just stuttering. The whole episode was just me, like, just stuttering. Nothing was making sense. I took so many breaks in between, and so just editing that together was already a headache because I just couldn't get out even one sentence for some reason. I was just really nervous that day for some reason. And I think it was like later in the day when I filmed, so I was really tired. Then when I had to like edit the video, it was just taking me forever. And then when I was halfway done, because I think the episode was like 50 minutes long, and it took me so long to get to it. Halfway through the episode, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna take a break, right? Take a break. I come back the next day. The audio and the video was not matching. Like, it was, for some reason, the next day, it wasn't like this the day before. It was a couple of seconds behind. So imagine you're watching the video and it's just me talking, but then, the voice comes later. I was like, what? I was so pissed off, and I was just so angry because I knew people were asking me in the comments, like, when's the podcast coming? And I'm like, oh my God, like, what the hell? And it just felt like everything was going wrong. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with that episode. I don't even want to look at that video. I'm just going to save it one day so I can look back and be like, the ghetto. This was like the ghetto, circumstances that I was in when I started the podcast. Character building, even, you could say that. But that's what happened to the last episode. I think the episode before that I didn't record because I think I've been gone for 2 weeks now. So the one before, I didn't have time for it, which is very unserious of me to say, but I genuinely didn't have time for it. But from now on, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be posting every week. Today, it's Wednesday today. So I'm going to post this episode latest by Friday. And the day that I post it, which should be Friday, latest Friday, even if it's Thursday midnight, it doesn't matter. That's going to be my new day from now on, where I'm going to be posting every week, because I don't want to do like a new day every day. No, ghetto. Okay, I'm just going to stick to that one day, and I'm going to do that, right? And for some reason, I prioritize TikTok over podcasting, even though I don't even get paid for TikTok. I don't get paid for podcasting either, but TikTok, I just love TikTok so much. It's like my safe space, so it's easier for me to film content for TikTok. And the podcast, it just requires a little bit more effort, but I love it. I love doing the podcast, but I need to start prioritizing. This is going to be the main priority. Okay, we're going to have so much fun. I'm so excited for the future of this podcast. That's it for today's episode. I'm just kidding. Imagine I just came and I'm like, okay guys, sorry I didn't post for the past 2 weeks. Goodbye, and I just left. No. I'm not gonna end the episode here. That would be crazy. Imagine I just gave that explanation and I'm like, okay, bye. Thank you for listening to this 3-minute podcast. I'll see you next week. The bare minimum. But thankfully I'm a yapper. But today's episode, before we get into today's episode, maybe I can do a recap of the last episode, the one that I was fighting for my life, where I was just stuttering the whole episode. It had potential to be a really good episode, but for some reason I was just so nervous. The whole episode, I was literally shaking. I'm like, who is this person? I'm like, this is not Sadia. I don't know who you are, but you need to leave me. So before I get into today's episode, I'm going to tell you what the last episode was about. I don't know if you guys have been online the last few weeks, but there's this British Vogue article that came out, which was titled, "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing in 2025?" And people went crazy. People on TikTok were losing their minds. Like, the girls with the boyfriends were getting offended. It went completely viral. I heard everybody talking about it. I was going to make a video about it on TikTok, but then I was like, why don't I just make a longer podcast format? I think it's great. I think having a boyfriend is embarrassing in 2025. Let me explain to you guys why that is. I feel like for so many years, single girls or women, it's hard for me to think that I'm a woman now. Like, I'm 29, which is already so hard for me to even like not accept, but like imagine. Like, what do you mean I'm 29? What do you mean I'm gonna be 30 next year? Oh my. The other day I was at work and this lady told me, she was like, oh my God, you're going to be 30 next year. I was like, first of all, how do you know that? Wait, what if she sees this? No, she's actually not a random lady. She's literally my coworker. But she said that and it hit me. I was like, I'm going to be 30 next year. I'm going to be 30 next year. Do you know how crazy that is? Whatever. I mean, 30 is like the new 20, as everybody says, but it's really not. It's actually not. I think it's so cringe when people say things like 40 is the new 25. No. Yeah, something like that. 40 is the new 18. 30 is the new 16. No, it's not. It's really not. And it's just so, I don't know, embarrassing when I hear people say that. I'm like, ugh. I never want to be 30. And then people are asking me, they're like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 30, but like mentally I'm 22. Even though low-key I am though. Guys, I'm a very unserious 29-year-old. People, every time I meet people, they think that I'm in my early 20s. And I remember I used to get so offended because in my mind, I associate that with being seen as immature, you know what I mean, for my age. Because if somebody tells me that I look like I'm 22, I'll take that. But then that's not really what they said. I mean, some of them would say that, but it just always was like, you give off the vibe that you're like 21. I'm like, first of all, that's very offensive because I want to be taken seriously. Right, as a grown woman, I want to be taken seriously. I appreciate it because do I appreciate it? Because when I meet 22-year-olds, I'm like, I don't act like that. You know what I mean? And also, but then again, when I was 22, I was very childish. But was I childish? I don't know. I think it's just an energy that I have, a very youthful energy, which I'm 29. It's not like I'm 60, right? Like, why would I not act like a 20-something-year-old? I've been 20-something all these years, and I've been getting these comments for so many years. Even when I was like 24, people would be like, oh my God, you're 24. I thought you were like 19. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Right? Like what, cause like we're literally in our 20s. I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's Gen Z. I think Gen Z has a weird obsession with age. And you know what I did too? I had this weird obsession with age. I'm not Gen Z. I'm a millennial technically because I was born in 96. So Gen Z starts at 97. But I don't consider myself a millennial. I also don't consider myself a Gen Z because it's like, I'm just in between. I'm a zillennial, right? Anyways, but I feel like Gen Z has this weird obsession with age where they think that if you're past, I think like 23, 24, you're just old. Like, I've met people who are like 3 years younger than me. And when I tell them my age, like, let's say I was like 25, like I would meet somebody and they would ask me how old I am. And I would say I'm 25. And they're like, 25? Oh my God. You're like, I thought you were like 21. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm like, what happened between 21 and 25? And why is that so shocking? And then they would be like 22. And then they would tell me this. And I'm like, you're going to be 25 in 3 years. What do you think is going to happen in those 3 years? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like social media, especially like Gen Z and just younger people, have this weird thing where they think that if you're past a certain age, you're just old. And then they're surprised that you have, I don't know, like a life. There was this girl. I was working with this girl like I think 2 years ago, and she asked me how old I was. I think I had just turned 27. And she was like 21 or something. And we used to hang out at work all the time. We're having fun. You know what I mean? Like living our best lives every day, like just joking and just having a great time. So one day she asks me, she's like, how old are you, by the way? I was like, I'm 27. And she was like, oh my God, you're 27? I was like, yeah. She was like, she literally, guys, she was so shocked. She kept on coming back to me throughout the day and being like, I can't believe you're 27. Oh my God. And she would literally go to people, can you believe she's 27? I'm like, I was so confused. I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong with being 27? But then she explained it to me later on because she said she had a brother who was also 27, who was the same age as me, and she was surprised that I hadn't given up on life yet. Why would I give up on life at 27? What is your brother going through? You need to talk to your brother, okay? 27 and he's given up on life. Girl, you shouldn't be talking to me. Go to your brother, okay? 27 is young. That was very interesting. But, oh my God, I just went on a whole tangent. I was supposed to talk about the British Vogue article. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Wait, what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying basically the British Vogue article that said that having a boyfriend embarrassing in 2025. I think that for so many years, oh yeah, it was the thing about the women. that literally just sent me on a tangent about some other thing. Anyways, women and single girls, whatever, have been in a way looked down upon. Actually, not even in a way, they have been looked down upon. People treat single women, especially older single women, like there's something wrong with them. Unmarried women, people who choose just to be single. I feel like for so many years when people would see me and they're like, are you in a relationship? And I'd be like, no. And they're like, oh my God, don't worry, you're gonna find your person. Don't worry. I'm not worried. Why would I be worried? Like, it's like this little pity thing. They're like, oh, just you poor little single girl. Don't worry, you're gonna find your person. I am not looking. I don't care, right? But I feel like in their minds, it's hard for them to like understand that. That's literally like me, a girl in my 20s. When people would tell me this, I would feel like, okay, that's weird. Imagine if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, if you're married and divorced, if you are childless. I feel like women who are child-free have experienced this way worse. I have seen the way society treats, you know what I mean? Just like single women who don't have boyfriends or husbands, they have been disrespected for so many years. And now the tides are turning. It's women and girls with boyfriends that are seen as embarrassing. And am I happy about that? Yes. Okay, not that I'm happy about that, but I am low-key. I am. What do you mean? Like, you think we're the only ones that are gonna suffer? You have to suffer too. And the reason I think you guys should suffer is because just being on TikTok the last few years and just seeing the way women talk about their boyfriends and their husbands and just how nasty they are, how they treat them horribly, and they laugh about it like it's a joke. Every day I go on TikTok, there's a woman talking about, oh, my husband, sometimes he just slaps me. It's not funny. And they joke about like just how incompetent their husbands are or their boyfriends. And for some reason they thought that we were just gonna like let that slide. No, girl, we were taking notes. Okay, we were like, oh, that's what you guys are going through. And then you come to us and you're like, don't worry, you're gonna find your person. That's embarrassing. That's very embarrassing. When I saw the article and people were discussing like whether having a boyfriend is embarrassing in 2025 or not, in my mind, I was like, whatever. Like, I just assumed that she was talking about women that have shitty boyfriends, right? Because I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. There's so many women out there who have incompetent boyfriends and husbands or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's what she's talking about. Obviously, she's not talking about people in happy, healthy relationships. Why would anybody think that? Are you stupid? You know what I mean? Like, why would you get offended if your boyfriend is not embarrassing? Why would that be offensive to you? Why would you take that personally? Is it because your boyfriend is a loser and you're overcompensating and now you feel attacked, right? Because if I was in a relationship and I was with somebody who's not embarrassing, I'll be like, oh, whatever, I don't care. I'll just move on in my life. But the thing is, when I see people or women in relationships that are fulfilling and they have great partners, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. It gives me hope. Why would I find that embarrassing? You know what I mean? Like, when I see women that are taken care of, when I see girls that are thriving and they have husbands and boyfriends that are there for them, to take care of them and just worship the ground that they walk on, why would I think that's embarrassing? I love it. I'm happy for them. I want that. Do I though? I don't know. But I'm happy for them because it gives me hope, you know? So why would that be embarrassing? Why would you feel attacked if your boyfriend is not like that? Another thing that they talked about in the article that killed me was this idea that like women don't post their partners and their boyfriends because of like evil eye. I think this is something that's so common, especially in like the Muslim community. Oh my God, this is so funny. When girls are about to get married, like they hide their husbands, right? They hide their boyfriends, not boyfriends, but like the guy they're gonna get married to, like they hide them. They don't post them because they're scared of evil eye. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know why that kills me. That's so cringe to me. Maybe it's because in my mind, I don't care. I'm like, I literally don't care. Why would I? Maybe it's okay. Maybe some people are gonna give you evil eye, but are they though? Who's looking at somebody and giving them evil eye over a relationship? Probably like an evil person, right? But then I don't know. I just feel like the idea of hiding your boyfriend or your future husband because you're scared of evil eye is such a cop-out. I think you're just embarrassed. Not everybody, but I think some people are actually embarrassed. And I understand why, because men are embarrassing. They're embarrassing. Right? Imagine you are about to get married to this guy and you post him and then you just start getting a bunch of DMs of girls saying, "Oh, girl, I was with him I would kill him. I think I would actually kill him if that happened to me. And you know what? I get it. I do. Actually, I don't relate to that. But I can imagine, you know what I mean? I can empathize with you, sympathize with you, empathize, sympathize with you. And yeah, that's all I can say. But when people say that they don't want to post their boyfriends or their husbands because of evil eye, it actually makes me laugh. I don't know why. It kills me. It kills me. When they hide their faces, every time I see those pictures, like a photo slide, and it's like a girl and like a guy, and then they're hiding the guy's face, I'm like, oh my God. Maybe it's because me personally, I would never do that. If I'm not going to post him, I'm not going to post him. I'm not going to post anybody. You know what I mean? I would rather just not even post them than like have a sticker on their face. I'm like why? Why do you need to do that? It's never that serious. Or maybe it is. I don't know evil eye community is up to these days. I don't know what type of spells they're doing these days. I'm not keeping up, okay? Because I don't put evil eye on people. I'm not, putting juju on people's relationships. But is it actually that serious? Maybe if it is, maybe if I'm wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments if there's actually a community of people who are targeting couples, specifically, I don't know, men, and they're putting evil eye on these men. That I'm just not aware of. Maybe you guys can let me know, because I'm not tapped in. I have no idea what's going on in that community. I have no idea, because every time I hear about evil eye, I'm like, so much evil eye, what's going on? Like, is it actually that serious? Is this happening? Or are people actually doing spells because they want your man to cheat on you? I don't know. Okay, I just feel like sometimes it's a cop out. It just feels like this easy way of like, I don't know, getting off the hook, because not getting off the hook, but like you just don't want to post your husband because you're embarrassed a little bit, or you're scared of like the feedback, scared of finding out something. So then you just use like, the evil eye as an excuse. That's what I think, at least. But yeah, I think that this British Vogue article, people were overreacting. It was never that serious. If your boyfriend is not embarrassing, then he's not embarrassing. You should move on. Why do you care? If your boyfriend is embarrassing, then you probably do feel attacked, and maybe that's why you're offended. Maybe you should get a new boyfriend, and maybe you should get a new husband. I don't know. You should do some inner self-work. Do some self-reflection. Just figure out some things, right? But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not happy that finally being in a relationship is embarrassing. You know what I mean? Because we have been berated for so long, and finally, it's our time. Every time I'm recording these episodes, I drink so much water in between, because my mouth gets so dry for some reason when I'm recording a podcast, and then I just drink a lot of water, and then I have to pee. Now I have to pee because I'm drinking a lot of water. But anyways, I'm loving today's episode. I feel so much better than the last episode. That was a disaster. Oh my God. Like the fact that I'm just so comfortable, I'm just yapping right now. This is what dreams are made of. Another thing I want to talk about is this whole Wicked, Ariana Grande, Wicked drama. Not drama, but just everything that's going on with the Wicked cast. I remember a year ago when I went to see Wicked. I think it's been a year already. Crazy. But when I went to see Wicked, I went to see that movie with a friend of mine. And that movie changed my life. Not in like a good way, in a horrible way. Actually, maybe it was in a good way, because it made me realize a lot of things. I went to see that movie with this person who, like, let's say somebody who I was close with at the time. And after I saw that movie, you guys, should I give you guys the tea? Not the full tea, but I can just give you guys some like literal like understanding of how that movie changed my life. First of all, I hated the movie. I'm so sorry to the Wicked lovers. I don't like musicals. I don't get it. The only musical that I love is High School Musical. Other musical movies, it's just not my vibe, and I think like there's people who love it. For me, it was so loud. It just felt like people screaming. If you're Somali, like maybe you're going to relate to this. It just felt like, you know what I mean? Like it was just so much noise when I went to the cinema. I even put on my AirPods, like the noise canceling feature on. It was still loud, even with the AirPods. I'm like, why are you guys screaming? Every 2 seconds, they just start screaming and singing. I'm like, it was just hooting and hollering. I'm like, oh my God, shut up. But I went to see this movie with this person that I was close with at the time in my life, and it was like, yeah, we were close. We were good friends for a while. And I remember that day, for those for this is gonna sound so stupid, but I have ADHD, and I'm on ADHD medication, whatever. I don't want to get into that. Sometimes I take it, sometimes like the days that I need it, I take it, right? So I accidentally took two ADHD like I accidentally took two pills that day, like one in the morning, and then I think I forgot that I took it, so I took another one. Never again, because I was so alert and awake that day. Like everything was heightened. Like it was literally felt like I was just hyper aware of everything happening to me. My heart was beating fast, and I had to go see this movie, right? At this point, it's like evening time. It's like winter, it's cold. I go to the movie with this person, and you guys, watching that movie changed my life it literally changed the trajectory of my life. Not because of the movie specifically, but just everything that happened. Because when I was sitting there watching that movie, I was just like noticing things about specifically like this person that I was with, that I thought was like a friend of mine. I just started noticing things about them, and I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is so weird. Like, what's wrong with this person? Like, they were just acting very strange. And maybe it's because before I just never picked up on things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I was the kind of person, like, I'm such a go with the flow kind of person. I don't pay attention to detail. When somebody tells me something, I could just brush it off, or I don't process a lot of things. And they were just acting very in like a way that just rubbed me the wrong way, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. It was just, they were being very entitled and just being very, very strange. And then I went home that day, and I was just thinking about it the whole time, because usually I don't think I would have thought about this. I'm like, this person was just acting very strange. Like everything that they did was just pissing me off. Everything, like literally everything they did, I would just be like, what is going on? What's happening? Like, are they usually like this? Like, what's wrong with this person, right? I'm like, is it just today? Like, is it the medication? I'm like, then I go home, right? I finish the movie, and I literally stay up for like hours thinking about this person and just the interaction and just the movie. And I'm like, that was so weird. I'm like, am I overthinking it? I'm like, I don't know. The next day I wake up, right? And I had to go to the city. Not even the city. I had to go to like it was like a shopping center, and the shopping center has like a cinema. That's where I saw the movie. So as soon as I walk into the shopping center, because I was there the day before with this person, it just triggered everything that happened literally the night before. This is like the next morning. It's like 10 a.m. And it just triggered everything. And I'm like, no, I'm like, that was weird. I'm like, that was the weirdest experience of my life. I'm like, this person is weird. So then I end up calling my friend, right? One of my friends. And I tell her, right? So I'm explaining the situation to her. I'm like, this person, I'm like, am I overthinking this? I'm not going to say like exactly what happened, because maybe I can say that in like a later episode where I have, I don't know. I don't want to get into it right now, just out of like respect for this person. And maybe they're going to watch this one day and I'm like, whatever, girl. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care. But maybe I can get into the whole situation in like a later episode, because there was so much. It was just so many weird things that were happening that I'm like, what is going? I'm like, literally, I feel like I was going crazy, you guys. I'm like, this is the weirdest situation to ever be in with a friend. I'm like, this is a friend that I've known for so many years. It was so many years, you guys, like a good 7 years at least. I call my friend the next day and I tell her, I'm like, I'm literally like pacing back and forth. I'm like, this is like the weirdest thing that happened to me. I'm explaining to her, and she's trying to be like, yeah, like I think that's normal. Like, I don't know. And I'm like telling her more and more. And then she's like, wait, that's not normal. And I'm like, yeah. And then I tell her like this other thing, and she's like, wait, that's weird. And then me and her just go into like this full on like 12-hour conversation. You guys, I'm not even kidding. We were on the phone for 12 hours, not specifically because of this person, right? But everything else in my life. This was like a 12-hour therapy session, because it made me realize things that I didn't even know were in my life, because I started connecting dots, right? It was one thing, this person, whatever, is kind of irrelevant to the story in a way, actually, now that I think about it, because it wasn't even really about them. They started things for me, but then it just trickled down to like other people and just other situations. And because of this one situation, it made me and my friend go on this 12-hour, like not only like conversation, but like investigation and just like looking up things and like connecting dots. And we were on the phone for 12 hours. And that day, I think like after that day, it was like even things from like my past for like, I don't know, like 10, 15 years prior, I was finally connecting dots. And I know that's going to sound so stupid because it's like, why why would you be connecting the dots because of that one situation? But it was just something about accidentally taking 2 ADHD pills that day that just unlocked this world that I didn't even know existed. Right? I'm like, what, have I been asleep my whole life? What is going on, right? So me and my friend are on the phone for 12 hours. We're literally connected. When I tell you guys connecting dots, we're just like doing research, just like talking about things, and I'm explaining things to her. And after that, my life just changed completely. I'm not even kidding, guys. After that call, literally my life fully changed. All because of Wicked. Because at that point, I realized that there was people in my life that needed to go. There was situations, there was relationships that I had, all because of Wicked. Do you know how crazy that is? Literally all that happened because of that one movie. All because I accidentally took 2 ADHD pills, met up with a friend, went to the cinema, had a feeling something was wrong, and it just changed my life. So yeah, I would say Wicked movie has actually done great things for me, even though I didn't like the actual movie. It was just very, it was not my vibe specifically. And when I was there in the movie, this person that I was with was acting so weird that I couldn't even enjoy the movie. But then also I was so overstimulated because I'm like, this movie is so loud. This person that I'm with is getting on my nerves. And the whole situation was just so weird. I'm like, it felt like I was in hell. Genuinely, it felt like I was in hell that day. Like watching the movie in itself was like hell to me. And when I left, when I tell you guys, the whole night I was thinking about this movie the whole night. Not even the movie, like this situation the whole night. And then yeah, the next day, my friend. So the Wicked movie, if it wasn't for that movie, I don't even think I would be here like recording this podcast. It's gonna sound so stupid, but genuinely, you guys, I don't think I would be here in this place that I'm in my life right now. A movie that I didn't even like, and it just changed my life in a way that I just never thought it was going to change. You know what I mean? So in a way, I'm thankful. Thank you to Ariana and Cynthia for changing my life, even though I didn't like the movie. That's the part that kills me. You know, every time I see people going up to celebrities and they're like, watching this movie changed my life, and they're getting emotional and they're crying. I get it now. I get it. But it wasn't even the movie. It was just the situation surrounding the movie. But it actually did change my life. And I sat through and I watched that whole, I think it was like 3 hours. Was it 3 hours? It was so long. Oh my God. I think that's why I felt like I was in hell, because I was watching a movie that I didn't like. And I was also being annoyed by somebody else. And it genuinely felt like the worst 3 hours of my life. But then after those 3 hours, my life completely changed for the better. So if I ever meet Ariana Grande, I'm going to tell her this. But I'm gonna like remove the part where I absolutely hated the movie. Okay, I wouldn't say I absolutely hated the movie. It was just not for me. It was not my vibe. But yeah, so I've been seeing this whole I was gonna talk about this whole Wicked, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and how weird they're acting towards each other. And it reminded me about this story, about my Wicked journey. But yeah, that was my story with Wicked. But I've been seeing people's reactions to Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and how weird they're acting with each other. And I've been so confused by it. Every time I see those videos, I just scroll because it just makes me very uncomfortable. I'm like, what is wrong with them? Why are they acting so weird? But and then also another thing that creeps me out is people's reaction to them. And then a lot of people are obsessed with their weight loss. You know what I mean? Everyone's talking about how much weight they've lost, which is a lot. They've lost a lot of weight. But I don't like talking about people's weight because it's such a sensitive thing, and people's obsession with it, it's just so weird to me. I get it, you know what I mean? A lot of celebrities are losing a lot of weight, and it's one of it's one of those things where it just feels like it's none of my business, so I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm just like, whatever. I don't know. I'm like, a part of me feels like, are they too skinny? Yeah, they look very skinny. They look very, very, very skinny. But then who am I to say that they're not healthy? I don't know. Like, that's the thing. You actually don't know. You don't know. Especially Cynthia. I feel like Cynthia looks healthier to me because she looks like she has a lot of muscle. I don't know. She looks like she's muscular. But then again, why am I even discussing this? This is literally none of my business. This is their bodies. But people's obsession with their bodies creeps me out. People are just like so like obsessed with them, and like they just obsess over how weird they're acting, them in interviews. And in my head, I'm like, are they being weird or are people just reacting to it? And because of that, we think it's weird. You know, like I feel like people are hyper fixated on them. And I'm like, why do you guys care so much? Like, who actually cares? And I get it. Ariana Grande is like a big celebrity. She's a superstar. I understand. But it's like, guys, get a life. Literally get a life. Why do you care about their weight loss? Is it your body? No. But another person who I saw lost a lot of weight was Stranger Things Nancy. I saw her doing an interview and she looked very, very thin. It was very shocking because she looked very different from the last time that I saw her. And I understand why people are suddenly hyper fixated on celebrities losing weight, because a lot of celebrities have been popping out just completely skinny now, just skin and bones. They'll go for like a few months and then they come back and they're just very skinny. So I understand, obviously there's been a change in the way celebrities are presenting themselves, and like this obsession with skinny is back. The whole nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, which is such a pathetic phrase, by the way. That phrase, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels or whatever. Do you know how much of a loser you have to be to say something like that? Is it true? I don't know. What do you mean? There's so many things that taste better than skinny feels. I've been skinny before, and there's no amount of skinniness that's ever going to taste as good as having a good meal, having a good dessert. You're lying. You're miserable. You're starving yourself, and you're lying to yourself. And now you want us to pretend like your lies are true? Shut up. So yeah, this obsession with just being very skinny, it's so dangerous, and it's just whatever. I try to ignore it. Whenever I see things I don't like, I just ignore. And I think people should need to start doing that more. If there's content that you feel like you don't like or it's like a trigger, just press not interested and move on with your life. That's not for you, girl. That's not for you. If you have an eating disorder and you're seeing all these like skinny celebrities and just all these people popping out and they look like they're about to die, just scroll away, just press not interested and just move on with your life. Because I feel like in the real world, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Like social media can feel like reality, but it's not. It would never ever be reality. And like in the real world, people have normal bodies, right? Not everybody's on Ozempic in reality. I don't know about other countries, but at least where I live, I don't know about people that are on Ozempic. It's not a normal thing here. I think I actually know one person who was on Ozempic. I don't know them, but like, yeah, I know them in a way. You know what I actually think is very interesting about Ozempic is that people's obsession with people not taking Ozempic is very fascinating to me, because Ozempic is seen as like a bad thing when celebrities take it, or I feel like other people take it. They see it as like cheating in a way, like, oh, you're cheating the system. Instead of going to the gym, you're just taking this drug that makes you lose weight. And I don't even know what the side effects for Ozempic are. I don't know if there's any side effects even, but why does that matter? Why does that matter that somebody doesn't go to the gym and takes Ozempic instead? Why is that cheating? Why do you care? Why are you trying to gatekeep being skinny? I feel like some people are trying to gatekeep being skinny because for some reason they feel like because they worked hard to become skinny, other people have to also work hard. No, right? That's so weird and so stupid and just loser behavior, like loser mindset. Why do other people have to suffer just because you've suffered? This idea that people that take Ozempic are cheating is so stupid and just so childish. Why? It's not you. It's not your body. Why do you care? I think it's mostly because people associate skinniness with, like the ultimate beauty. Like if you're skinny, you're perfect. And they gatekeep that. A lot of people gatekeep skinniness because for so long to be skinny, you had to put in the work. You had to either starve yourself. And a lot of people can't even be skinny because of their body type and the way that they're shaped. Like some people, they will never, ever be skinny just because they can't, right? That's just how they are. They're just naturally curvy. They can never be skinny. So now when people started taking Ozempic and getting skinny, the gatekeepers of skinniness, these losers, are triggered now. They're in the comments, oh, you took Ozempic queen. She's on Ozempic. Why do you care that she's on Ozempic? That's none of your fucking business, right? They feel entitled to people admitting that they're on Ozempic for some reason. And worse, they make fun of them for being on Ozempic. So it's like, what do you want from them? You want them to come out and say, I've been on Ozempic. But when they say it, you're going to be like, Ozempic queen. Oh my gosh, she's on Ozempic. When someone's like, oh, you lost weight. So because of Ozempic, she didn't actually go to the gym. It's so stupid and childish and pathetic. And if I was on Ozempic, I wouldn't tell you guys. I wouldn't, because people people are so weird online. They want to know everything about you so that they could use it against you. That's the only reason they care about Ozempic. People that pretend that they care about Ozempic takers because they're like, oh, it's actually for diabetics. Girl, you know you don't care about that. There was a whole time where people were saying like, oh, Ozempic, people are like taking it, stealing it from people that have diabetes. Now they don't have enough Ozempic for the people that are actually have diabetes. I don't even know if that's actually true. I don't know if that's like an actual thing that like doctors and scientists, whatever, like researchers were saying, where they're like, there's a lack of Ozempic because of all the fat people that are taking Ozempic, and now people that have diabetes can't even take it. If there's actually like science-backed research on that, please let me know in the comments. But it just came across as people just using that to gatekeep Ozempic so people don't take Ozempic. You know what I mean? But I feel like if being skinny is accessible to everybody, isn't that just going to make things better? I don't think that's the solution, though. I don't think the solution is people losing weight. I think the solution obviously is everybody should be loving themselves the way that they are, but sadly that's not how this world works. You know what I mean? There's always going to be people that fat shame. There's always going to be people that, you know what I mean, like look down on people that are in bigger bodies. That's always going to exist, and there's just, it seems like there's no winning, like either way, whether you're on Ozempic or whether you're not. Like if you're not on Ozempic and you're just fat, people will make fun of you. They'll call you fat, they'll call you lazy. But when you take the Ozempic, they're like, oh, you cheated. You will never ever ever win. You will actually never ever ever win. So I say, fuck the haters. Do you, boo. Just do whatever you want to do. But I'm not encouraging people to take Ozempic if that's the takeaway. I don't know, girl. Do whatever you want with your life. I don't care. In general, people need to stop being obsessed with celebrities. Just stop being obsessed with celebrities. Who cares if they're on Ozempic? Just, if you ignore them, then maybe they're going to go away. They're going to realize that they're actually irrelevant. We don't care about them. The only celebrity that I care about, is there any celebrities that I care about that I actually like? Even though I don't know them, so this is just like whatever, like from what I see online, I would say I love Zendaya. Oh my god, I love Zendaya. I remember like when she was on Shake It Up, and I loved her. And just seeing her journey as a celebrity, it feels like I'm so proud of her, even though I don't know her. It's very parasocial, but I love Zendaya. I love Zendaya. She's my girl. Who else? When I was younger, I was obsessed with Selena Gomez. Oh my god, I was such a Selenator. Yeah. I was such a Selena. Oh my god, I used to be obsessed with Selena Gomez. Selena is a bit of a weirdo now, though. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I used to love Selena, and I also obviously used to love Justin Bieber too, but I feel like I've talked about that so many times that it's embarrassing now. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, because it's like the more I talk about Justin Bieber, it reminds me of a dark time in my life where I was obsessed with him, and he's just, now that I'm older, I'm like, this is just a regular man who's just like has a family now and kids, and I used to just be obsessed with him. It's so embarrassing. Not embarrassing, it is embarrassing, because the way I used to be obsessed with him was not normal. When I was like 14, that sometimes I get flashbacks and I just feel this like shame. I'm like, what was I thinking? Why was I so obsessed with this man? Oh my god. But it wasn't just me though. There were so many of us. Oh my god, the good old days when I was a believer. I remember I had this friend of mine. Her name is Nora. Nora, if you ever see this, shout out to you, girl. We went to, when I lived in Kenya and I was in high school, we knew each other. Like, she was from England and I was from Norway, but then, you know, she ended up moving back to England and I was still in Kenya. When we were in the same school, we weren't really friends because she was in my sister's grade, but then when she moved back to the UK, me and her reconnected because we were both believers. We were both obsessed with Justin Bieber, and I was like, oh my god, like, what do you mean you're obsessed with Justin Bieber? And this is a time where like she wasn't even there, and I had nobody in my life who was obsessed with Justin Bieber. People just made fun of me. People thought I was weird. They were like, why is this girl obsessed with Justin Bieber? So I remember me and her used to go on Twitter, and we were such Justin Bieber like crazy stans. I remember there was a day Justin Bieber was in London and he was staying at a hotel, and I think she told me she was gonna go there, and I was literally, I remember coming home from school and I was on Twitter like going back and forth, and I'd be like, oh my god, did you go? Did you see him? I think she was camping outside his hotel. That's how crazy we were. And I was so jealous that I couldn't be there because I was in Kenya and Justin Bieber wasn't in Kenya, right? I was like, why? But yeah, it was a dark time. But yeah, that's it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved the episode, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're watching the video version, like, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting these episodes weekly every Friday from now on. Podcast, the audio episode and the video episode go out at the same time. If you're on Spotify, leave a comment, like the episode, give it a review. Please give me a review because then that boosts the episodes. If you leave a review, give it a 5-star if you like the episode. And if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share the episode. I'm going to be posting clips on TikTok throughout the week, and I'll see you guys next week on Friday. Thank you for watching. Bye.